So today we're going to focus on reviewing our essay on the emotional impact of exile a final time using a checklist. And then we're also going to talk about how to reflect on this particular writing experience before we move on. So you're going to see a posting that looks like this on Google Classroom for you today. The task list starts with number 1, essay checklist. Use the attached essay checklist to review the content of your final essay. Please reach out to your instructor, that's me, with specific questions about any of the items on the checklist. And this assignment is going to count as a 10-point classwork homework grade. You're going to see that a copy has been made for you that looks something like this. I'm going to zoom into it to be at 100%, maybe even more. Zoom in more? Oh, yeah. Okay. Directions say to review this checklist and reach out to me, of course, with any questions. You're going to refer back to the prompt that you've been given, and this stuff is posted in week 4. Have you ultimately answered the question? Okay, that's important, or the task that's been given to you. I want you to check off that you have an introduction and a conclusion paragraph, if you do in fact have introduction and conclusion paragraphs. Do you follow the content guidance that I provided in week 4? I provided you with a modeled introduction on Wednesday of last week, so that date was October 1st, that was your remote day. And then on Thursday or Friday, depending on your cohort, you then got the opportunity for me to walk you through some steps for the body paragraphs as well as the conclusion this past Monday, October 5th. Next question, have you included a direct quote from each poem in each body paragraph? What I mean is, do you have one quotation mark for the Wanderer paragraph? Do you have one quotation or cited passage from The Wife's Lament? You should have in-text citations indicating your line numbers. This next point, did you properly format your citations? Okay, so what that means, there was different guidance given to you in the instructional videos last week and this week, well, just last week, I guess, regarding if you were citing three lines or less of poetry, and that has to do with the use of slashes, placement of quotation marks, as well as where the ending punctuation goes after the parenthetical citation. Or if you were doing 4 or more lines of cited poetry, you do what's called a block indent. There's no quotation marks around it, and the closing punctuation does not go after the parenthetical citation like it does when you have 3 lines or less. So look at those models provided in your resources and materials. I asked, did you apply ICE to all cited quotes? So, the order of the body paragraph that I gave you should be topic sentence, a sentence or two introducing the context of the quote. You cite the quote, then you explain what exactly in that quote was relevant to your thesis that you're proving, which in this case was that exile by force can have a detrimental or negative effect on the emotional or mental health of people, in this case the speakers of the poem. You want to make sure you capitalize all proper nouns, okay? You want to make sure things like, I'm going to add this, I guess, just off the cuff, quotation marks go around poem names, okay, and you should capitalize each of the keywords in that poem title. And for the example of USA Today, which was mentioned in the intro, USA Today is a publication, we'll italicize that. And I did that in my model, but I did see on some drafts that we did not italicize the title USA Today in our introductions that we did ourselves. Did you write in third person? There should be no we, I, us, you, our in this. You keep it third person formal, unless there's a my or an I in the words of the poem. That is a different conversation, okay? Did you remove contractions? This is only if it's in the language of your essay, not any quoted material. You want to make sure that you avoid contractions because it keeps a more formal tone. And lastly, or second to lastly, did you include transitions, it is lastly, between body paragraphs and examples within body paragraphs? So you want to kind of have some flow to your body paragraphs. Format-wise, did you do the MLA heading modeled for you? I created it for you in the doc, so all you had to do was, instead of where it said your name, put the first name and last name that you have. I did the title for you. It should be Times New Roman font, 12 point. The entire essay should be double spaced, okay? So if you have not done that yet, please do. And that means the same amount of space exists between every line on the page. That's between lines within a body paragraph. That's lines between paragraphs. That's between the title and the beginning of the intro, okay? And the last name and page number in the upper right-hand corner, I created that for you. The last part is when you're ready for submission, you're going to upload this and submit it correctly to turnitin.com. Okay. The second task on this list today, if we go back, is what we call a writing reflection. You're going to add a doc to this posting. I don't have the option to add the doc, but you should somewhere, maybe on your right-hand side. I don't see it from a student view, in which you complete the writing reflection. Well, Mrs. Gerst, what the heck is a writing reflection? Well, let's look at it. I like to do this after each writing task that we do. It's a very casual writing, though. This is not formal essay. This is like blogging about the writing experience or writing in a journal, like to yourself. Very casual tone is okay. I do want you to set it up with MLA heading and 12-point font double space. That's to just make sure I can evaluate the length of everybody's work the same, because length is key to this assignment. Okay. It should be at least one full page. I give you a series of questions. You do not write the questions out. However, answer them in the order they appear. You can do this task whether you do the essay or you don't do the essay, whether it's on time or not. The questions are still relevant to you as a writer and as your growth as a writer this year. This you will submit to Google Classroom. Okay, and this stuff's going to be due Wednesday, October 7th. These are all sentence starters and questions you can answer, but don't write the questions. Let me show you a sample that I included for you to see what a final product looks like for this. So you can see this is provided up top, and the spacing and the font size and style is all the same. So I can have kind of, I'm not measuring apples to oranges. Every student, when I say make it a length, I know that these are the factors that went into everybody's, document, so I know it's equal. You can see that the student wrote in the first person. Okay, this was a writing reflection on their research paper in previous years. They kind of go through those questions and use it just as content to blog. I just want to know your thoughts. You want to keep it grammatically sound. You want to check your spelling, but I am not really focused on that as much as I am evidence of your reflection on the process. So you can see questions I have like, have you gotten any better at this type of work? Are there areas you think you need to improve? And you could just be like, I don't really know. And, like the first question, in what ways have you gotten better? You could be like, I never feel like I'm good at this. You could just type that. I don't know where you're at. Or you can be like, I kind of think these are easy at this point in my academic career. I don't know why we keep doing them. It's okay to just write that. You could be very casual. Problems that you encountered. If you didn't encounter any, just say, I really didn't find it hard, so I didn't have any problems. But if you could say, like, it took me like 15 minutes to think of the best quote to use from that poem, and I feel like it was hard to kind of understand it because the poem was hard. Like, just write that. That's totally fine. Did you find anything satisfying about the finished process or product? You could just say, yes, I did, because I like when things are done and I can hit submit. Or you could say, no, I did not. What did you find frustrating about it? If you were the teacher, what comments would you make? What grade would you give it? In what ways did this work meet the standards for the assignment? What's one thing you would like to improve on writing wise? What's one goal you have for yourself for the next writing assignment? What would you like to spend more time on in regards to learning writing in school, okay, or the writing process? So these are the things I want you to reflect on. This writing reflection, along with the essay, are due by Wednesday. Okay, so the final essay must be uploaded. I'll clarify here. This writing reflection is due by 3:00 p.m. on Wednesday on this Google Classroom posting. Okay, so reach out to me with questions, and I look forward to reading your first kind of formal pieces. I do indicate the point values of a couple assignments here as well. The essay checklist, which you'll actually physically mark off on. The writing reflection, which you'll attach by clicking add a doc to this, and then you will recreate and model what I provided to you in the sample. And then you will, the essay must be submitted via Turnitin.com, and I'll create a place for you to do that. Okay. That's all for now. I originally was going to have us test on the Exile poems on next week. I'm sorry, not Thursday and Friday. I didn't quite prep that yet. So I'll keep you posted with what we're doing Thursday and Friday in class. Thank you.